Now it's still on elevator tragedy in Lagos. The event that happened last week. That's our story. Of course, we still remember it with sorrow and tears in our eyes. Now it's still saying that Lagos sacks facility manager, suspends agency GM. It's talking about the incident that happened last week that claimed the life of a young budding talent in the medical field, medical profession. Talking about the medical doctor that died, that was on housemanship, that died last week in an elevator. Saying that Lagos sacks facility manager, suspends agency GM. So go and read through that story and know how far they've gone in that particular story. Follow it up. And don't forget that it's still 93.7 FM, Citizen FM, and it's still head stories this morning. And we are still talking and taking our news from Punch Newspaper, taking out all our headline stories from Punch Newspaper this morning. Now we have this one that says foreign airlines repatriate over $4 billion in 15 months. Check this story out. It's on Punch Newspaper, ladies and gentlemen. Now this one is saying Niger closes airspace, citing threat of intervention. Niger closes airspace, citing threat of intervention. Read that story from Punch Newspaper this morning, simply saying that Niger are becoming a little bit jittery in terms of the way the international communities are raising eyebrow, about the junta in Niger Republic. It's something that should be frowned at in the time and age that we are in. We should be talking about democracy and the advancement of democracy, and how far we've been able to manage the democracy that we have in our hands, and not fluctuating kind of leadership that we are witnessing in Niger and other parts of African country. Nigeria is playing a big brother right there. But all we are saying when we start big talk is don't neglect the problems, the local domestic problems we have in the country, and start putting all your energy on things that doesn't really concern us, because we have a lot in our hands. That's what I'm saying. Now, this one says, still on Punch News about this morning, it says bank shareholders protest as directors borrow 113 billion naira. All right, this one is a huge story. It's on the financial story, business and economy of Punch News about this morning. Go and check it out, all right? Now, revenge against England. Of course, everybody is rooting for Super Falcons because of how far and how well they've performed in this particular tournament, and people are rooting for them that they should be able to, capitalize on their existing form and the current form that they have, and see what they can do against the English national women football. All right. Just go all out, make the country proud. You have all the young bodies that right there. Just make sure you do the right changes. You put up a good game plan, and at the end of the day, the sky will definitely be the Super Falcons starting point. Don't forget that match comes up this morning, 8:15 this morning. Make sure you have a glance on that match. Niger IDPs hits 548-70 intervention. Of course, okay, simply means that FG is coming to the rescue. But it's a very alarming number. The number 500 and something thousand is quite alarming. It's something that we should actually look critically into. Most of the warring countries doesn't have these numbers, and we are not in a state of war, and this is what we have. And people are talking about intervention in Niger Republic. We have a lot in our hands, ladies and gentlemen. Of course, you can see that. Now this one says police recover woman's corpse in ex-lover's house. Arrest suspect. This one is still on Punch newspaper. Don't forget that we are still on Punch newspaper. So go and grab a copy. It's on crime. Of course, a lot is happening in the society. You have to be very, very watchful and very careful. That relationship that is so enticing. It looks so lovely. All right. So most of the times it looks lovely from the beginning, but the ending parts, very sour. Just check out our story. Is on Punch newspaper this morning. Now we have this one that says Anambra gunmen abandon weapons. It's still on. If you're interested in everything that are happening in Anambra State, I think you should be interested in this one. Go and pick up a copy of Punch newspaper this morning. I read through it. All right. Now it's still Super Citizen and Sunrise this morning on 93.7 FM, Citizen FM, right here in the Federal Capital Territory. Now we're going straight to Vanguard newspaper this morning, and it says, big headline there says, consumer goods manufacturers borrow 1.8 trillion to survive in first quarter of 2023. Yeah, this one is on a business, a very big, boldly written headline on Vanguard newspaper on the business level, so you can go and check this one out, all right? Simply means there's a lot going on in the business world, and if you can be able to borrow for the right reasons, I think borrowing is the right thing. But you don't borrow to consume. It's actually a very bad business. Anything that has to do with borrowing and then consuming is a bad business, whatever you can call it, but it's not a good way to go. Now we are still on. look at you like someone that has come to something good for the country or the establishment. Don't forget that it's still on Vanguard newspaper this morning. To engage government in a disguised autocracy is burdensome. It's coming from ASU. Go and check that particular story out, all right? Then we have this one that says, "Let me breathe, I don't want to die," by Owe Lakimfa. Lakimfa is talking about the situation of the country, and it's right there on Vanguard newspaper. Go and check that story out. It's talking about "Let me breathe." When you see something like that, you know it's coming from NLC. Let me breathe. That means let's the hungry Nigerians breathe. Let's Nigerians breathe. That means don't impose most of this stiff and then harsh economic situations on the poor Nigerians. This one is coming from away. Like, if I go and check that story out, it's on Vanguard newspaper. "Let me breathe, I don't want to die." That's by Owe Lakimfa. Now this one is saying 3 myths about subsidy removal by Chidi Odenkalo. Go and check that particular story out. 3 myths about subsidy removal. Know what that story is all about and then extract all the needed information therein. Now we have this one on Ararume. NNPC take legal battle to court of appeal. Based on Ararume's story, you know the issue he had with the former government, and then it's resurfacing again. So go and know what that story is all about. It's on Vanguard newspaper this morning. Now on Niger Republic, it says Catholic bishops, JNI, AANI, others say no to military intervention in Niger Republic. Go and check that story out. It's right there, boldly written on Vanguard newspaper. Now this one is talking about Nigerian flights, and it says why flight delay, cancellation will continue. This one is coming from NCAA. All right. If you want to know about more on this particular headline, pick a copy of Vanguard News about this morning and read through it. Why flights delay? Where we can't compete with foreign airlines. Medview Airlines said so, and then it says a whole lot is coming from that particular headline. So go and pick a copy of Vanguard newspaper and know what that particular headline is talking about in full. This particular one is talking about Niger Republic. Niger invasion may cost FG over 2.98 yearly. Of course, that's why I said this particular issue should be handled with every sense of care and tact. It's talking about still Niger. What is going to cost Nigeria will be very huge, and we have a lot in our hands. I think economic sanctions is the best going forward. I think the chairman of ECOWAS talking about Mr. President, Mr. Alhaji Bola Ahmed Tinubu, to look into this thing, critical one of them. Bola Ahmed Tinubu to look into this thing, critical one of them at all. Now we have this particular one. Story is still coming up. NIA urges revamp of safety maintenance culture in public buildings. Very, very interesting. This particular one is very, very interesting. So look into that particular story. NIA urges revamp of safety and maintenance culture in public buildings. Public buildings, most especially those high-rising, should be looked into critically. Most of them are in Lagos, most of them are in Abuja, all those people that have high-rising buildings should be looked their maintenance culture should be looked at critically, because it's all about the matter of life and death, and we'll be talking more when we get to our discussion segment. Now, to rush and make sure that everybody participates views this morning on the show on Super Citizen at sunrise this morning. Meet over adamant Niger junta. Still talking about Niger Republic issue, and then every controversy surrounding it simply means that the junta have been so adamant all this while. Irrespective of what is happening, they're just trying to put all the safety measures to make sure that they are safe. One of them shutting down their airspace and all that. So, and they are adamant, meaning that they are waiting for the worst. And I don't think we should be drawn into such conflict at all, because it's not our war. Now, if you're interested on foreign reserves of Nigeria, I think this one will interest you. It says foreign reserve return to growth, and this one is on the Nation newspaper. Go and check. Now we have this one that says federal government states open talk on minimum wage review. Open talk. States open talk on minimum wage review, and this one actually had to do with a lot of things that is going on in the NLC and their clamor for a new minimum wage. I think it's the right way to go. Federal government try to review the minimum wage to suit the reality on ground, because people are grappling with the fact that everything is going up, and minimum wage is still the way it is. So the minimum wage, that's what people are saying. And this one is talking about Obaseki. Why I won't back Shaibu to succeed me. Of course, Obaseki is the outgoing governor of Edo State. Is saying why he's stating the fact why he can't allow Shaibu to succeed him. And it's on the Nation newspaper this morning. Go and pick a copy and read through it. Now we are going to anchor on this particular story that says it's talking about the sit at home in the southeast. Soludo, it says southeast winning battle against sit at home enforcers, and this one is a good story coming from the southeast. And then if you're interested in that particular story, go and pick a copy of the Nation newspaper this morning. And this is how we're going to come. We're going to summarize the review of today's daily headlines stories, and then move straight to our discussion segment with our in-house reviewer, talking about no other person than Mr. Salmon Salami. Mr. Salami, good morning to you.
Good morning, Mr. EKENE, and happy Monday.
Happy Monday to you. It looks like a very lovely Monday, and it will be a very lovely Monday and a lovely week to you and to all our listeners.
Amen.
Yes. All right. I'm sounding like a pastor right now. All right, that's how it's going to be. Just believe that. Now we are moving straight to this particular Niger Republic issue. It's making headline here, and we want to talk about it. ECOWAS AU leaders meet over adamant Niger junta, and it says that they shut down their airspace. It simply means that these people are ready for the worst. So I don't think people that are looking at you to draw a fight with you, that you should fall into that trap and then waste all your energy. War costs a lot of money, and I don't think we have that kind of money to waste in war. What do you think, Mr. Salami?
Well, let me start by saying that war in whatever form will never, like an ill wind, blow any good to anybody. And it needs no saying again that Nigeria, as it is today, we have our own cup of troubles very, very full, and we cannot afford to get engaged in any distraction again. And that is what that war will be. I want President Bola Ahmed Tinubu to know that he is the president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria before he becomes the chairman of ECOWAS. First and foremost is to Nigeria, and not to impress those who elected him or appointed him their chairman, let alone to impress the West. When comes to shove, the so-called West, they will disappoint us. And in any case, we should be very, very circumspect, because the 7 states very close to Niger in Nigeria, they have sounded a note of warning that in the first instance, Nigerians, they are kinsmen. They don't see them as strangers. And that too, the thing will snowball. There's no doubt that you don't cane a child and still tell him not to weep. And of course, you don't know when war starts how it will end. Russia is there. Russia may support them. Wagner is there.
France is not really with them on this. But they are French colony.
They are. It's a francophone country, but they have their issues with France, and they severe even relationship with France, economic relationship with France. So France may not be with them. In fact, France is not with them anyway. But the truth is this: most Nigerians, including the religious body, Khan is saying it. Jamaatul Nasiru Islamia is saying it. And again, look at what happened to the envoy, to the peace delegates sent to Niger by President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, comprising former head of state Salmon, the Sultan, and even the one headed by Baba Gana Kingibe. They were all snubbed, meaning that these people, they have something up their sleeve. Don't let us underrate them. And we are saying it. We don't have what it takes to engage in any war now. We have our own problem, internal problem. Let us face our internal problems squarely. Let President Tinubu go back to work and work for Nigeria.
I work for Nigeria. That's the word of Mr. Salami this morning, a veteran journalist and a media consultant. Now, what approach do you think the federal government should be taking right now? Because something must be done, actually.
Yes.
Everything that is happening there actually emanated from Nigeria, from the subsidy removal of Mr. President. Of course, you know that Nigeria, most of these neighboring countries enjoys the largesse coming from Nigeria. And then when you remove fuel subsidy, if they were buying fuel 600 when the subsidy was in place, and now they are buying it like 1,000 in their own currency, 1,500. In fact, that was even what caused the ousting of their former president, Mr. Bazoum.
You see, Nigeria is the big brother in West Africa, and indeed in Africa, Nigeria is very, very well respected, and it should, because it has what it takes to be well respected. I must say that ECOWAS bungled the Niger issue. I'll tell you why. You see, when ECOWAS leaders, when they met, what was the
discussion?
What was the outcome? Sanctions, impose sanction, to the extent that Nigeria.
But I think sanction is the best.
I am coming. Sanction is okay, whatever. But to now say that those junta must leave within 7 days, you should have asked yourself that, assuming they don't leave after 7 days, what next? What we are saying is this: diplomacy and not military action should be the way to go. You see, when you use your last joker first, you'll be in trouble. You'll be messed up. Even if at the end of the day, ECOWAS leader had military option at the back of their mind, it is not something that you discuss first, and it's not something that you put first. Rather, you first explore diplomatic.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's go on a short break. When we return, we'll continue with the discussion. We'll be right back shortly. We're right back, and then we'll let Mr. Salmon Salami to continue with his expansion. Please go ahead, Mr. Salmon Salami.
Well, there is nothing much to say again than to just implore Mr. President that we should eschew military approach. It is not the best approach. Let us continue with the diplomatic way of solving this problem. And I think that the good thing that's now there, because you give them 7 days. 7 days has elapsed, and they are saying to.
So you mean the ego will now make them to take the worst decision?
I mean, ECOWAS
when you've given 7 days and then
it expired and nothing happens.
And nothing. Of course, military sanction should be the other thing that. Sanction would be the other thing that they should be looking at. Economic sanctions.
The economic sanction and other things should be what should be strengthened, and not the
military. Military intervention is a no-no.
And not the 7 days ultimatum. No. The 7 days ultimatum, you should have asked yourself that, look, assuming this 7 days ultimatum expires and
nothing happened.
Over. They did not hand over.
Okay,
what do we do?
Okay, they've already said it. They should swallow it and just impose economic sanctions on them. What we meant was that after 7 days that we are going to impose economic sanctions on you, not military.
Is that what EKENE teaching the ECOWAS leaders?
No, that's not what I'm saying. But you can swallow it instead of going the wrong direction.
Whether they swallow it or they don't swallow it, it is clear now that these people ignore them, and that is not good enough, because it has to do with respectability, and it has to do with not thinking out things. It was well thought out. They would have known that giving ultimatum should not be part of their communique or part of their
that's the
decision.
point. Yeah, that's the point.
And as it is now, we have no choice than to just rub it off and continue with diplomatic way or means of resolving this problem. Perhaps meet with these people, tell them that okay, make it a very short one, and let us see your timetable for the return to democratic rule. That perhaps may be the way out as it is now. That is if the junta is even ready to listen and talk with them.
All right, from what I'm saying, say adamant. Adamant means they found deaf ears to some of these things. So now we'll be going straight to what concerns us as a nation. It was a surprise last week ending when we saw Festus Keyamo being nominated as one of the ministers, and everybody was like, all of a sudden, Festus Keyamo in the ministerial list. What happened? Did you see that coming, Mr. Salami? Honestly, it caught me by surprise, honestly.
Why will you be surprised? Is he not qualified?
But why was he not in the first list and the second list? Why only him, the last list? So that was something fish. Something is. Anyway,
there is. Everybody, well, we saw the first 28 list, and they told us that there are more names coming. And if his name is in part of the next one, what is funny about that?
A single name.
Well, you see, Festus Keyamo, we all know, played a very, very prominent role during the campaign. If this is compensatory, I don't know. Of course, Keyamo is eminently qualified to be a minister. Why his name was not in the first list? Why his name was not even submitted on the second? Is not in the second list. Why did his name come
alone
as one?
Okay, all right, let's just leave it like that. Of course, the general public actually knows where we're headed. Now, we want to talk about this particular one.
And he went dancing, you know.
Of course.
He was dancing.
What do you want him to do?
And he was praising God.
Ministerial nomination is a huge thing in Nigeria, of course.
No.
He will be piloting the affairs of a particular sector of the economy. Of course, no doubt about it.
I think it's a call for service.
It's a call for service? That is if our people will see it down.
He's ready to serve. Maybe that's why he's happy.
Okay.
That he wants to serve. He has been given the opportunity to serve. Serve, he will.
Remember that he served in this past administration that didn't do so well. So, and okay, let's just say he was a minister of state and he wasn't in the position to do much. So let's just leave it at that and know what is going to come out as.
Then let me turn it to a comedy. If a child does not do well, will he not repeat?
This is Salami. All right, we'll leave it at that. Of course, if you don't know, Festus Keyamo, actually, his name just came out last week, Friday, as a surprise nominee in the presidential ministerial nomination. Now, we have this one that says federal government states open talks on minimum wage review. I think it's long overdue, this particular one. A lot of reality on ground, and then it doesn't measure up with the minimum wage does not measure up with the reality on ground. Don't you think that the federal government should do a lot so that the minimum wage will come up and be in tally or in tandem with the reality on ground?
Why is it that
both federal government and then private sector as well?
But why is it that when it comes to issues concerning the poor man is when we begin to discuss? If it comes to the big men and what interests them, they will just decide this is what is going to happen. Who doesn't know that the minimum wage at 30,000 as it is today cannot do anything for anybody? Must we set up another committee to be the minimum wage? We know what to do. If things have quadrupled 4 times, the minimum wage should be times 5 or times 4 at the minimum. Don't let us waste time. People are dying.
All right. Now, we have to rush on this particular one. It interests me to tell Nigerians that foreign reserves return to growth is a good story if it can be sustained. Obasanjo did a whole lot of good in this aspect. Jonathan, past administration, nothing to write home about. Now, I think we are returning to the old ways of doing things. Our foreign reserve is coming back from what we are seeing on the Nation newspaper. What do you have to say, Mr. Salami?
Well, if foreign reserve is improving, it is good news. Good news in the sense that it will make for a very strong naira. Our naira will be stronger, and that means we have what it takes to take care of our imports, and it means that the productive level that we've started producing in such a manner that we now earn foreign exchange. But the important thing, how does this translate into good governance? How does this put food on the table of the common man? And how does this make for exchange rate in such a manner that the poor man will breathe? Let me put it that way. Let the poor man breathe.
NLC way. All right. All right. Let's leave it at this, and then through our phone lines open while we are still discussing. You can call us on our line 081-822-22205. I call it again 081-822-22205. For you call us or call us on another line 090-3222-9797. I call it again 090-3222-9797. Hello, good morning to you.
Yeah, good morning. Can I greet you?
Good morning, my brother. How are you doing?
Fine, my brother. Good. My name is Michael. I'm calling from Nasarawa.
Mr. Michael, how is Nasarawa this morning?
Oh, thank God. Thank God. The way our government carry the problem of Niger for their head, if the way we carry this Niger problem to our own head, it didn't get as a bill. I think they could even use the same method to be addressing the challenges we have as a country. This our country could have been a better place. You know?
Yeah.
So for me, rushing to go and give Niger, threatening Niger, is a sovereign nation on their own. Just like Nigeria, they are a sovereign nation. You know? The last time, even the other people were talking about the election that will go through, and the people come out and say, Nigeria is a sovereign nation. Nigeria is this and that. Don't you think that Nigeria also is a sovereign nation? They can address whatever challenges they have within themselves, you understand, without interference of others. And that is why I think that can we focus on more and dealing in our own issues. You understand? There's a way you can approach this issue of it. But when you take it personally, as if it is your personal country, you understand? I mean, even Niger, whoever that wants to even leave the power cannot even leave it because the threat. So they should leave this threat and then find a lasting solution for the problem and challenges we are also facing as a country. You know, I think that's my own take. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Mr. Michael. Thank you so very much for your contribution. That's a very good point. It
is because Niger is sovereign. And then there is this principle of non-interference in the affairs of a sovereign nation. But of course, it has qualification, and I think it's just that ECOWAS did not handle it very well. The ECOWAS leaders did not. Even if they will employ sanctions and other means, there shouldn't have been this 7 days ultimatum thing.
All right, that's the word of the response of Ms. Salami on our callers' contribution. Now we want to look at this Southeast issue. Southeast winning battle against sit-at-home enforcers. This is a very good story, very good news for the people of the Southeast. And all right, let's just pick this caller before we go ahead. Hello, good morning to you. Good morning, my brother. How are you?
Fine. This is your friend.
Good morning, Mr. Ashiku. How are you this morning?
Fine. fact, if people are overtaking our time, when it's time is don't look at what we are giving us. I want to contribute because of this ECOWAS dividing the gas. I've been telling you, it's a matter that is question. ECOWAS has played. What those Mali, Burkina Faso, and all those who have been there before, they never they take action before. The time would have not happened. They failed to take prompt action when they are pumping some people to commit illegal activities. Was those people took over before ECOWAS was established? What is the degree that ECOWAS have in their section how to invest another people's sovereignty? It's a very wrong matter. I know it's worrisome. We are not supporting coup, but Tinubu is just fighting for himself because you know the next thing and the thing will affect him. And all these household people who you know from all these 7 states, who are most of them they are friends with Niger, they cannot allow Nigeria to attack Niger. Because that axis is where they have country with Mali with all this where insurgencies and all these arms would flow into.
He don't have most of this facts, so let's just leave it that way. Let's make our contributions to be constructive.
It is wrong. It is wrong.
All right, thank you very much. Thank you very much for your contribution, Mr. Ashuku. All right, want to state categorically that if you're not really sure of what you don't have the facts of some of the things you want to say, please just say it on the peripheral.
Let's correct this one that the President Tinubu is taking it personal. He is not. He is the chairman of ECOWAS, and he has the backing of ECOWAS. But what we are saying is that ECOWAS as a body made a mistake, and ECOWAS should not have issued an ultimatum. Ultimatum shouldn't have been part of their resolution. Of course, ECOWAS has a responsibility as the regional body to make sure that things go well in the sub-region. Nobody will say that coup is the way to go. Coup is not.
No, coup is
we
not.
should not allow it.
All right.
But even at that, we should be circumspect in handling it.
All right, remember that we can still take your call, and if you can call us, we still have big talk, so we have enough ample time for you to call in on the show this morning on Super Citizen at Sunrise this morning with EKENE, EZEPUE. Now, you can still call us because you can take one more call or two, 081-822-22205. All right, want to talk about the issue of Southeast now. Let's look at it critically. We are winning the war against it at home enforcers, and that's what Governor Soludo is saying.
Well, I do not want to share this optimism. I don't want, because we are dealing with the effect and not the cause. Why is it that people obey Simon Ekpa or don't sit down? Simon Ekpa. Why? What can ensure peace in the Southeast is security. Federal government securing the state. The people of this southeastern part of Nigeria knowing fully well that yes, the federal government is behind us, there is security, they will sit at home. Because if they know that these enforcers cannot do anything, that they have been checkmated, their wings have been clipped, and they know that the federal might is behind them, nobody will tell them, everybody will go to work. Of course, the Southeasterners, they don't play with their work.
With business, yeah.
Business is their life.
If you want to look at it from the way the governors and the state governors and the leaders of the Southeast are going about it, with all sense of sincerity, they are going about it they know how to nip those things, those insecurity in the bud, but we're not really seeing the resultant effect. It's not physical enough for us to see that. That's why people are still staying at home. If they can assure people, like you said, and tell people that yes, and they are able to see physically that there's enough security presence, around them, they will definitely come out. Now, apart from that, what do you think that the people of the Southeast, because they call it state policing and all that, but by the time you start waiting on federal government to come, in most of the times it doesn't. The Southwesterners, they have what they call I forgot what is that security arm of South known Amoteku. They have Amoteku. It escaped my mind. In the East, they have what they call the Bubago, but it's like it's non-existent. How will you be encouraging people to go about, securing themselves if federal government is not really, because there's no law that backs them, but people's lives and properties must be secured.
You see, government, whether federal, state, or local government, their primary responsibility to the people is protection of life and property. And government cannot do it alone. Essentially, it is the federal government, because the state governments are not permitted to establish arm carrying personnel. So, essentially, they are chief executives, the governors are chief executives on paper. In the real sense of it, they are not chief executive. In actual fact, the commissioner of police in the state does not take instruction from the governor. He does from IG.
Yeah.
And the IG takes instruction from Mr. President. So you can now see the line of communication and authority. But by and large, the people, we are more in charge of our security. Why? The so-called enforcers, don't they live amongst the people? The people don't know them. Are they more than the people? What is their number? If the people are ready, they will take their destiny in their hand.
Is this the way you explained it? Like,
no, what I know, like they are harmed.
In Katsina,
not like that.
You saw what their government did.
No, you don't seem to understand. What I'm trying to say is this. If the willpower is there, they are much more than the number of people carrying arms. The willpower is there, the federal government is there, and the government of the state, they are doing the right thing, and they have given them hope. They have assured them they too should not be timid.
All right.
If truly government has provided security, let the people come out, and if they are convinced that indeed there is security, they will come out.
All right, indeed, their security, they will come out, and that's the word of Mr. Salmon Salami on Super Citizen and Sunrise newspaper segment review. Now, we want to stop here, and then when we return, it will be time for Big Talk. And what we'll be discussing is the SERAP has sued federal government on the savings of fuel subsidy. When we return, we'll break it down very well, and then we'll throw the lines open again so you can so that you can participate and make your contributions. We'll be right back, ladies and gentlemen. When we return, it will be time for Big Talk on Super Citizen at Sunrise. Bye for now on the newspaper review segment.